Good evening, everybody. This is your guy Tariq, and I just had some things that I figured I'd bring to the YouTube streets to talk about today, and here it goes. It's basically about how we can be opinionated to the point to where we're being judgmental of people's situations. It could be how they was raised. It could be different things they do that we really don't know about, but we judge them according to some of the little things that we may have seen or got to know about it, which can even cause for us to conjecture about it or form like either, we get things from partial truths and stuff like that and take it and run with it and, do it all kinds of ways. We'll frame it all types of ways, rather if it's for clickbait or what have you, etc. And my thing is, that usually when I'm having conversations about things, I try to be pretty candid. I try to be pretty open, and I can call things how I see it. But even with that, it's a reason for many things that happen. And anybody that's pretty rational, and sometimes people can be, doing things in a kind of rational way. But sometimes people do things in certain ways to move people. It could be even to motivate themselves, to propel them to do certain things that they probably wouldn't have done otherwise if they wouldn't have had to take it in the course of action that they take it to achieve the means that they wanted or were going after. So I had watched a panel of people discuss like Terrence Crawford's mother and how she wasn't about this and she wasn't about that. And our people, we just filled with hellfire for one another for the most part, and that is very disturbing to me. We always have the answers on how to tear our people down, you know, say that they ain't about shit. I mean, like, it's like unbelievable, but I guess this is what we've come to nowadays. For different problems, if we don't have solutions for them, the problem isn't going to get solved. Rather, it's with people on the outside of us, or rather, it's within ourselves. So, when it comes to like a collective, I just know for a fact we must do really better, you know. And I send a shout out to the people of that riverboat, brawl and stuff like that that jumped in and helped out. The people or that brother that was in need, that was a good deed, and, not to take away from that whatsoever, but I just see where we need to collaborate more on different things that'll help to bring us more together where it doesn't have to be about violence, anything like that when it's not warranted, which we go through kind of too much as it is. But we do need more of a kinder rather, excuse my word. We need more of a kinder and a more firm and at the same time gentle spirit towards the ones who we care about. I've heard people say that black culture is trash and they're supposed to be educated people. Come on now. You're just as much trash as the rest of whom you talking about. And not realizing that a lot of the world outside of us they tend to take up that same thing, even when it's not warranted. This has been our history. A lot of things that weren't warranted got put upon us. And then the effects of it today is that even those that's supposed to be educated, supposed to have uh, money and stuff like that, they'll throw a lot of our people under the bus. And they're no different than the people that was in the times of slavery, no matter what phase of it was. They always try to uplift themselves to make themselves feel better over the masses of their people. And it's just ridiculous, you know. But with Terrence Crawford and his mother, which I'll start with saying, she loved him from the way that she knew how, or maybe her parents raised her a certain way. Who's to say? And many of us don't know, but we get up there and talk about it because it's a topic of discussion, and we make her into a beast. Certain people did certain things that may not have been right. But sometimes, and in a situation with Terrence Crawford's, with his mother, see, she may have known her son and what can push him. That could have been a part of the factor, as crazy as it may sound, but it could have been. It really could have been, you know. And some people say, oh, she just want to hug him now. And I'm like, no, you're wrong. Because I've been following him for years. And his mother is so proud and so happy of what he become. And guess what? Although he got on an interview and said that, she didn't always say she loved him and hugged him and all that. They're doing it now. We are so unforgiving when it comes to one another. And when we hear certain things that are negative. But where's the positive being spoken up on? Where's the positive being uplifted about the things that we do? And a lot of times our people are worse than how the media have portrayed us. And then we say we need to create our own narrative. But a lot of time the narrative, even within us, be to tear each other down. I don't understand. But then I guess I do, because when you've been blinded, by things of the past that you don't really understand yourself, then I guess that's what you'll tend to do. You'll tend to tear down your people instead of try to uplift them and build them up. And I have a hard time with that, and it seemed like we have people who are technically smart, but then my saying of what I say about people who's, especially of my race, and they're always putting us down instead of helping us to come up, especially when they had the means to do so, rather if it's through the power of things they learn within their mind. And it could have been through experience. It could have been through some type of formal education. It could have been through different trades, you know. But you have to invest in that which you think will be better for you for the time to come, for the times ahead, for the future, And a lot of times what I be seeing is a lot of people where they just straight up clickbait. And it's no different than when people have used us and still tend to use us on the outside of us as a people. And then it happens from within. And you can even see it on these social media sites, And I don't think anyone's like quick to ever think about it. And that's really unfortunate. Yeah, it's really unfortunate. And that's something that has to really be worked upon, because we get on here and do the bidding of people really. I don't know if we really consciously realize that some of us don't give a damn anyway. I heard somebody, and to me, that's what falls into my category of a smart dummy. You're gonna get on here with panels and say that you for the people, and you get on here and bash the same people who you say you for. The best of our people, rather if it's today or rather if it's times in the past, they understood how to uplift their people. And that's what they set out to do. So if it's not about that, then why don't you sit down somewhere or just keep doing what you're doing on your side, you know, and stop trying to come up on the back of the pain of our people to the detriment of our people. Because you're no better than anybody else. You may have something where you became, pretty advantageous. You got some things in certain ways that a lot of people don't get it, didn't get it, or and don't have it now, and it's a lot of things where we need a lot of help from within. That many of us are, we really hate each other to where we won't really do it, or we'll do certain people. But why can't we start incorporating things that can help to do it? I don't have the biggest and the brightest of mind, but I understand what it feels like to have people on your side, to have people to be even inspired. You know, Coming up as a younger person, I was all into fashion. The people ahead of me, they inspired me to be that way. I like clothes, I like matching colors, be uniform, stuff like that. And it spread to other people who I knew. They see me, oh, you trying to be this way, and you just stay fly, as we used to say back then, and some people still say it today. You know, um, Even though it wasn't all about that, that was just like an outside thing. But what I cherished the most with them was their friendship. You know, that's what I had cherished the most. Because when all the money is gone and when you leave here, people not going to necessarily remember your money. They're going to remember how you treated them. They're going to remember how you made them feel, you know. And if it's some on the negative side, I could be like people, of course, and I will be like people say, I don't give a damn, if you don't like me and it's about something that I'm doing and I know it's positive, especially now if I know it can help others and they're willing to be helped. Because some people front, I want to help people, and they have it to help people. But their real thing is to get on here and to have attention, because it could be some people who have money. They really want attention, because if you got money and you just got to bash people, just leave them alone. Why you need to be on here for to do that? I don't understand where's growth and development at. And a lot of people get on here talking about they believe in God, but they cussing our people. They saying they saying fuck their kids and all types of stuff like that. I'll be observing things. And when I hear them saying that, I'll be like, who the hell raised you? Especially when you say you're a God fearing person, you're a family man, all that type of stuff. So where's that coming at? Where's your disdain for your people overall? Although you may have, a black wife and kids and stuff like that as a black person, you know, how could you be heartless like that? It doesn't make sense at all. And my thing is, um, if you don't have anything positive to say about somebody, unless they're doing something directly to you, then you should just not say anything to them. Just leave them alone. If something that's going on not affecting you, as people say when people are different ways, they say, well, as long as they're not bringing them to me, or you know whatever rock they, whatever floats their boat and stuff like that. If you believe in that, then why would you basically attack people with ways that you feel about them if you can't do anything to help uplift them? And then a lot of times people will get on here that I say be talking smart dummy talk and say that people are not deserving of different things. In one way or another, we deserving of everything, rather if it's a penalty or a reward. So we deserve what comes to us in one way or another. So my thing is just promote that which can help to bring people up instead of tear them down. We've been torn down enough within this country, I would say. As a people, we've been torn down enough by outsiders. And then we continue to doing the bidding of those who carried on this way from the past even until this present day. We carry out their work like we're them. And that needs to stop. We got to stop doing that, because that's not wise, it's not intelligent, it's not love. And people say, oh, well, I'm about this or I'm about that. And they say they're spiritual, but they're always talking hatred. Oh, the black culture is trash. First off, we're not really a culture. When you've been broken away from your people and you can't practice the traditions and the customs that you once had, where's the culture at? You're basically just following behind people because cultures have certain ways that they do things. And we have to keep in mind that once upon a time, we weren't really a culture, we were just lumped together. So the way it started from the way that we had gotten trained by others against our will, keep that in mind, that over time, the trash and the garbage of that wind up becoming the culture that people call trash today. So if you out here and you spewing self-hatred, because that's what it is, would you stop, please? Try to build up more people than you tear down. And if you can build up some and the ones that you can't build up, just leave them alone. Just leave them alone. And maybe somebody else, um, it'll be for somebody else that'll be chosen to help them. And if they can't, everybody can't be saved with everything. But if I meet a person in my walks of life, if it's a certain knowledge that I can give them or whatever, I've always done it. I don't care if they was one of the ruggedest individuals. They may tell me, oh man, go ahead with that talk or whatever. But then it was also people going way back in time, in my life that they would tell me things, man, you always been a dude who, you will listen, you know, if you had something you would share, you know, you always tried to stand on, the truth. You always tried to stand up for ones who couldn't stand on their own, rather it's against bullies or whatever, you know. That was me, and it pretty much still is. You know, and it's things that I got that I want to do and put in motion, and I am. But my thing isn't to just tear people down. And if I'm tearing somebody down, you best believe they're trying to tear me down. So the best thing I really can do is get away from those people. You know, I can get away from those people and keep my distance. I can love those people from afar. And that's the way you can have peace. And keep your own peace and not show that you're really an angry person. Because you'd be an angry person and have money and all that. But what you're displaying to people, and for the people who more can see better and who watch and observe you, we can see that, it's a lot of issues that you have as being one of our people. That's what that is. That's where that come from. That's where it really come from. Because it's a lot of black people deep down, they don't love themselves. They hate that they're black deep down. And they'll argue with you and tell you, oh, I'm black just like the rest of y'all. But how are you saying that? But you say our culture's trash. How is that so? And if it's that trash, go to the side where you think the trash is in there. Go and be who you really want it to be anyway. To where you finally made you a little space in life to where you got blessed. But guess what? Even as is written, the devil was blessed too. So do what you do. And for everything that's done is a reward and a penalty in some form or fashion. But to mock people who don't really have a thorough knowledge of themselves, they don't have a knowledge of certain things about finances, you know, how to build themselves up, how to build up a community or a family, you know, um, they need help. They need help more than people who has a little something to be showing their disdain for them and their hatred towards them. This has to stop. At some point in time, people who are smart, and if you got or ever had any kind of love for people, then you need to go ahead and start examining your own self and taking a look at your own self. Because as the saying goes, man make the money, money don't make the man. But it's a lot of us that I believe, think reverse. Yes, money is good, but what about the integrity and the character? What about the love? All that stuff, if you understand it. You get tired of seeing black men and women bashing one another. How the hell we can get with anything? How can we defeat anything without us being on the same page, without us being on one accord? Has that ever happened for anybody? Please show me in history where that's happened for anybody, where they were successful when they couldn't even get along with themselves. I need for people to think about that. How you gonna win any type of thing when when you messing yourself up rather from within. It's not going to work out. You know, it's not going to work out. We become so individualized. It's like we become hypnotized with being individualized and being individualized against one another. And for those who say that, oh, I know God and all this, well, God put us down here to be family in one form or another. And there's a lot of others that understand that principle. And that's one that a big majority of the people that I come from, we tend to forget it, or we've been put so far down in the mud of the spiritual mud or quicksand, you know, of life that it's been hard for us to get up. But with a helping hand and something to help us out, yes, we can do it. We can do it. We've been resilient. We've been some of everything. Everything that's been thrown at us, somehow we managed to survive it. And then we've even had those who's thrived, and we've had a lot of things. We're truly creative people. We created so many things. So when can we channel and create the love and unity that it takes to help uplift us, instead of worrying about the trivial things and the things that don't truly matter, which are more elusive and more real to many of us than the things that matter, such as love, family, community, nation. And if we don't understand that, then we can never stand together. We have to be together. It's a time to come together. The thing that happened in Montgomery and stuff like that, that's cool. It was something that, people who gonna be there for one another, that's something that they will do. A lot of people were surprised that we came together. And if we came together on that wise, why we can't come together on stuff that's positive? Because there's more of us actually who don't come together and together. Although that was a wonderful and beautiful thing for us to come together. Unfortunately, it had to be fighting, using violence against people. But the way stuff was going, that had to be done, and I understand that. But what about our fight for self-reliance? What about a fight for us being educated? What about a fight for us having better communities and not trying to fight and kill one another? Rather, if it's male on male or if it's male on female, you know, so on, etc. But yes, we definitely have to do better. I'm all for it. I love to see when we're happy. It's like our joy illuminates the world. Within this population that we have here in America, as Black people, a lot of people gravitate towards us on that alone. So imagine with us being the example, of the best of ourselves and learning how to be the best of ourselves. When people are not being the best of themselves, in most cases, it's because they don't have the knowledge of how to do it. They're uneducated.